Hello class, my name is Carl Nelson and this is for PM692 video 6 discussion. Today I'll be talking about the stakeholders management plan. Stakeholder is anyone that has invested interest in your project or may be affected by the deliverables or outcome of the project. Stakeholder management process is engaging with these people and maintaining good relationships with them. The reason why stakeholders management is so important is because while stakeholders may not be in the driver's seat, they can be extremely useful advocates and sponsors for agents of change. Good stakeholders management will not only clear potential obstacles for you, but they will actively support swift progress that will ultimately help you in your goals of having a successful project. Some of the major components of stakeholders management plan. The first major component is identifying the actual stakeholders. These are the people, groups, organizations that have influence and of the project and its direction, uh, and whose success will significantly impact the project. Next is identifying the strategies and mechanisms that will be used to support the stakeholders. After that is managing the stakeholders, which is outlining the process and how the plan is going to be carried out for these different strategies. Lastly is controlling the stakeholders engagement, monitoring the stakeholders engagement, and then alerting them of any problems that may surface while the project is ongoing. Next, I'm going to talk about the stakeholders theory and how it has changed. The stakeholders theory was first described by Dr. Freeman, professor of Virginia. It suggests that stakeholders are merely one of the stakeholders in the company. It's like an ecosystem and where everyone is invested. Also, the theory suggests that companies' real success lies in satisfying all of the stakeholders, not just those that may profit from the actual stock. 20th century economist Milton Friedman says that the company is beholden to the stakeholders and that the company must make a profit for these stakeholders. So it changed from saying that everybody's invested, whether they're making a profit or not, to now only people that are important are the people that are going to make a profit off or that are financially invested in the project. Next, we're going to talk about how to perform successful stakeholder management. First is stakeholder mapping, which is identifying all the different stakeholders and then examining the key factors like proximity to the project, demographics, and other interests that goes along with the project. Next is influence, understanding the different influence that each stakeholders have and how it directly or indirectly impacts your project and then the other people that's in your project, like your project team and other suppliers. Lastly is identifying the triggers from the stakeholders, identifying these triggers and then mitigating the triggers ahead of time so you can avoid any problems with the stakeholders. Next, we're going to talk about how to get stakeholders on your side. The best way to get stakeholders on your side is convincing them that your project deserves attention and then demonstrating how your project and its value will help the organization. And then once you get their attention, keeping them involved and then notifying them at the right moments, which is by communication and then, like I talked about before, knowing their triggers and mitigating them. So keeping them involved with the project throughout the whole cycle of the project will be how you keep them on your side. Lastly, I'm talking about the best ways to deliver bad news. The first to stakeholders, the first will be speaking up, letting them know right away, not holding the information in. Good news doesn't get better with time. Next, be accurate. Be accurate with the information that you're giving them. Worst thing you could do is give them bad information, and then they will not trust you from then on out. Next is taking responsibility. You're in charge of the project, taking responsibility, letting them know what was wrong, let them know it's your fault, and then how do you move forward. Next is listening to any feedback they give you about the project so you can move forward and better understand what's going to make them happy. Next is say what you're going to do next. Like I said, take responsibility and then let them know what's the plan going forward. Lastly, do exactly what you're going to say and mean what you're going to say. Most important thing is saying, hey, I messed up. This is where we're going to move forward, and then following through with that. This concludes my video. Looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.